So today we will look at variables, and if you're wondering about variables, they are something that's very important. They are something that you're going to be using a lot as you program anything. And of course, it's going to be in Python because that's what this tutorial is on. And with that, we'll begin. So in my previous tutorial, we wrote a hello world program, very simple, print hello world. That's all it does. But what if we don't want to just print hello world? What if we want to print some value we can change later down the line? Or we want to print something multiple times and we want it to automatically change to one value. That's where variables come in. And if it just puts a new line, we can put a variable here. Let's call our variable, well, variable one. We'll call it that now. Now, of course, you want to change your variable name into whatever, is fitting. But in this case, we'll just go with variable one. Now, what a variable is, it's basically something that contains a value in Python. So, our variable one here will contain some value, and we can refer back to this variable one as variable one. And instead of saying variable one, we will get whatever the, value this includes is. So basically, a variable is a container for some value. Now, of course, that value can be string, but it can also be any other data type. So, any data type will work. I will cover data types in a separate tutorial, but a variable can contain basically any data type. And that's really where it shines. But basically, a variable contains something, some value, and then you can extract that value. You can use value later down in your program. And keep in mind, you have to assign the variable before you use the variable in anything, of course, because that's how it works. And indeed, the contents of that variable are stored in memory, and that's how it works. It takes the you assign that variable to something, it stores the variable in your memory, and then it can refer back to that variable in your memory when it needs to do so. So let's assign value to this. Now we want it to be a string in this case, and let's say we want to assign it. Just we'll do hello world first. Then we can change our print statement to, instead of saying a string, we can make it to print out our variable. So variable one, you want to do it like this. You want to not have any quotation marks or anything. Just want to have it say variable one like this. And now if you run this, you can see it still prints hello world. However, what if you change this? Let's say totally not hello world. Now, what if you run this again? You can see it says totally not hello world. So you can see the changed variable changes this. So instead of calling upon what is in here, a string, we're actually using the variable here. We are calling upon this variable, and what that will print out, what that will return, is whatever is assigned as the value of the variable. So there's also one more thing I want to mention about variables. So, you can see we assign the variable to this here, but you can also reassign variable values. So let's say we want to change value of variable one as we go. So we can just assign it again, and we can say totally hello world indeed. And now you print the same thing again after this. We will, you see, at first it's saying this, but now to change the value or we reassign it, you can see that you change the value of variable. So that is something you can indeed do with variables. So indeed, we'll cover some more use cases and and other things as we go. But basically, this variable is something you can always call upon. You can use multiple times, and anything you change here will change for every mention of every use of this variable. So that's how variables work, and hopefully it's helpful. And goodbye.